right, welcome back to Yellaball. This episode, we're talking about Conference USA. Just like the American, a lot of change coming to Conference USA this year.
They added 4 teams, 3 teams.
Something like that. One, two, three, four. Out of four teams, four new teams. They lost the top three from last year in Charlotte, North Texas, and UAB. Those three finishing one, two, and three during the regular season. But conference tournament winner still back, MTSU.
The Blue Raiders.
Yeah, and they showed out pretty well last year. 40 plus win season, almost took the regional from Alabama. A pretty tough team last year. Really solid finish. Really good outing all year. It's pretty cool to see the Blue Raiders uh, played at that level and be able to compete with some of the best teams in the country. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
kind of surprising when you see where they were in conference.
Yeah. Fourth, fifth in the conference, fifth, right?
Some, I think.
Yeah, I think they finished fifth in regular season conference play last year, and then which was again they were 40-22, right? No, not 40-22. They were
42-20.
yes 42-20 on the year last year, but only 13-10 in conference.
They were sixth in conference behind Charlotte, North
Ooh.
Texas, UAB, Florida, Atlantic, and Western Kentucky.
Mm. So yeah, I mean, a disappointing conference schedule, but then they go to the tournament and they're like, yeah, we're supposed to be here and we're supposed to win it. So good for them showing up and taking care of business like they should.
Yeah.
But since the top three regular season finishers are gone, we have we have a I'm just drawing a blank right now. My brain is just not working.
I'm not sure what words you're looking for because in my mind, I'm saying mumbo jumbo in my mind.
Hmm,
Scramble.
okay.
That's what's going on
Um,
right here.
we have some picks to get to for the conference instead of just going through who won last year, right? Outside of MTSU, who, like we said, won a conference tournament last year, finished the regular season 42-20. Um, we have two picks to follow. MTSU, I mean, again, as a team, they did pretty well. Surprisingly, um, not much power coming from the Blue Raiders at the plate. Only 29 home runs last year, and they only scored 301 times, which is it's not terrible. It's definitely it's definitely a mediocre run scored total when you especially
Compared to
coming
some
from a
other.
team. Yeah, compared to some Power Five schools and some American schools, but definitely coming from a 40 plus win team. Like you would expect at least somewhere around 330, 350.
Yeah.
But where they lacked in power to get their 301 runs across, got to get in a scoring position somehow. So they stole 91 stolen bases as a team in 104 attempts. Pitching wasn't that top tier echelon from a Power Five school, an SEC school, or an ACC school, um, but a 2.44 team ERA, that's not terrible.
Something that it's definitely doable.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you something to work with. It's on par for the Big Ten. as a whole.
Mhm.
Same thing with same thing with their team batting average, sub 300, just under 300. It's again on par with your Big Ten teams. Um, Fielding percentage, you'd like to see that a little bit higher, but I mean overall, like not bad. Could be better, but not bad.
Yeah, I mean, their fielding percentage is a 968. I mean, that's pretty on par with a lot of other schools that were right at like 970. So
Yeah,
not too far behind on that.
yeah. But again, like we've talked about previously, like the higher that ERA goes, the better your fielding percentage and your team batting average needs to be.
Right.
Um, if you're gonna get over the hump and beat some of these better teams. But yeah, not a bad season at all. A really good season, actually. Um,
Yeah, and based off of who they have coming back, I don't suspect any reason why they wouldn't have another good season this year.
yeah, I mean, it hurts losing Laura Mueller. They lose their starting shortstop, who was just
A big
a f-
offensive piece for them.
yeah, just a phenom last year, and she transfers to or she went to Tennessee. That's right. She went to Tennessee. Yeah, she's gonna be sliding right into Mackenzie Donahue's spot.
Hmm.
That's right. Yeah. Um, yeah, losing Laura Mueller sucks. If you're a Blue Raider, you hate to see a hole at shortstop. Um, and they lose their starting pitcher from last year, Gretchen Mead, who was 20-5 in the circle. Uh, but still got Cameron Karsich. I don't know how to say that last name.
I would say Karsich,
Karsich. All right,
maybe.
we'll go with it. Cameron Karsich. Still have Cameron Carthage coming back. She threw 141 innings last year and had a 1.94 ERA. I mean, that's sub 2 ERA. That's really good. Um, Only 9-8 in the circle last year, but I mean, he's still throwing 141 innings. She's gonna get more innings this year. So you're probably
Yep.
talking about she's probably gonna throw 175 innings like Gretchen Mead did last year, and her record is gonna reflect that. So uh held opponents to a sub 200 batting average. I mean, can't really ask her to do much more than that last year.
No, got to be thankful though that she's coming back for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Brings back experience and like a hefty workload from a year ago. So definitely look to see her be the workhorse for the Blue Raiders moving forward. Um, Tell me about Amaya Harris.
Um, she's a pretty solid player for him. She was 384 batting average, 433 on base percentage, so really good in the getting on base category, in my opinion. I think 433 is pretty noteworthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she only made one defensive mistake, and outstandingly, when they were working their tails off against Alabama in their regional last year, she was a player who had at least one hit in each game. Every single game in that Tuscaloosa regional, which I think they ended up playing, what, 5 games?
Yeah, something like that because they had to go through the losers bracket and then they took
Yeah.
a game from Alabama.
And then, yeah, it was, I don't know, I want to say it was 5. Um, but she's also the returning leadoff batter. And I think one pair of shoes that I always find difficult to try to fill is the leadoff batter, just because you know that that person's one a leader in some way,
Says
shape, or form.
says the leadoff batter.
Says a person who did not want to be the leadoff batter. Let's make one thing real clear. But I mean, you get your leadoff batter coming back, which means you also know that you have somebody who you can count on most of the time to get on base, find the way on somehow, start
You
the
have you
offense.
you have somebody coming back who's going to set the tone offensively every game.
Right.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, my hair is going to be huge for them coming back. Also bring in transfer Mary Martinez, another pitcher, transferred from La Tech, a conference foe. Um, Not a whole lot of innings last year, but somehow managed to still have a 10-3 record.
Yeah, that one's not really making sense to me, but hey, more power
She
to you.
she she had to have come out of the bullpen last year, and La Tech took the lead while she was pitching. That had to be the
Yeah.
case because you're not going to start and only throw 70 innings and come out with a 10-3 record. That's not how that works.
Right.
Um, but I mean, whether MTSU decides to use her out of the bullpen, like she's obviously proven herself to be uh, worthy, I guess you could say, worthy of bullpen appearances. um, but yeah, I mean, whether they decide to use her out of the bullpen or throw her into a starting role, that maybe that number two or number three in the starting rotation. I mean, she's going to bring added value to the pitching staff. Um, got two freshmen coming in, not a lot on them, but definitely an opportunity to come in and play, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so, especially for they have an infielder and a pitcher coming in, and I think the pitcher probably has a good chance of at least working her way into some kind of rotation there. Just
Yeah,
because you
whether
also don't
she's
necessarily know what the transfer
mhm.
how she's gonna perform or whatever, but
Yeah, I mean, whether it's throwing innings in a midweek game or eating innings coming out of the bullpen, or if she works her way into the starting rotation for the those Saturdays and Sundays, um, definitely an opportunity for freshman pitcher Espinal. Um, yeah, I mean, I would definitely look for MTSU to keep on keeping on, keep on doing what they've been doing, winning ball games.
pick up right where they left off.
Yep. You're gonna move into Liberty now.
Liberty
Oh,
Bibberty.
Liberty Biverty coming in from
American.
Sunbelt. American. They weren't in the American.
Yeah, huh?
No, they weren't.
Where were they in? What were
Were
they
they in
in?
the A Sun?
No.
What?
Ooh.
Yep, they were in the A
Onto
Sun.
something.
They were in the A Sun last year.
Well, I knew it
They're
started with an A.
they're moving in from the Atlantic Sun Conference into Conference USA after having a similar year to MTSU's season last year. Liberty goes 40-22 on the year. They end up in the UCLA regional,
My
where
favorite
they
regional.
where they win one for Jesus, baby. Um, yeah, they beat UCLA and GCU. They end up falling short to San Diego State in that regional final, but mid-majors team beating UCLA, baby.
UCLA just blows my
Disappointing.
mind every time it's brought up. Really, it's every time.
Yeah, same, same. Um, I mean, they Liberty loses their catcher in Caroline Hudson, also known as Caroline Wang.
Careful.
Uh, yeah, she got married during the offseason. Um, they lose their catcher, who was ASUN Player of the Year 2 years ago and last year, and was all ASUN first team. Um, it's tough to replace a catcher, honestly. Your catcher, not only were they getting offensive production from Caroline, but you're talking about the person who's commanding your pitching staff, who's controlling the pace of the game. For them, I mean, the pitcher typically controls the pace of the game, but the pitcher's also got to get the sign from the catcher. So the catcher's really the one controlling the pace of the game.
Pitcher's really the mastermind.
Yeah. Catcher's keeping everyone level headed. Catcher sees the field. The catcher is the captain of the field. So I mean, it's really hard to replace a catcher, especially a good one when you lose them. But unfortunately for the Liberty Flames, Caroline Wang transfers to Oklahoma State.
That is
They
unfortunate, that's for sure, because she surely did a lot of good for them.
Yeah, 51 RBIs, 15 home runs. I mean, led the team in hits with 62. Hard to replace.
Well, another person they're losing is their number one pitcher.
Again, hard to replace.
Their battery has corroded, if you
Yeah.
will. 261. Their pitcher, Carly Keeney, 261 innings, no chance. She's
Yeah, I
got a
don't know
torn
how
labrum
her.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't know how her arm didn't fall off last year.
No
But
chance.
yeah, I mean, it's not like she's clearly throwing every game, just about. And
mean-
it's not a Jordy Ball situation or an Alex Storako situation where you can throw every game but only play 5 innings.
She had a 27-12 record, which was 39 games. Man, how do I always bring up math? Which is over 40 plus 22, 62. So that's over half the games that she's
Yeah.
at least rocking and rolling in. No. Immediately no. More power
That's
to you,
all
Carly Keeney,
that
because ain't gonna be me.
that's only 39 games on record.
Right.
Because she got some games in that she got a no decision for. So
She probably
probably,
threw 45.
yeah,
Nope.
we'll say 45. Yeah, that's a lot of games. That's a lot of this motion right here, baby. That
Just a
kind of
little
hurt.
bit of tear here and a little bit of tear there.
Yeah, I think I just tore mine.
Oh, could you imagine
uh,
just doing it on here? All you hear through the microphone is
that would suck. That would be the day we stopped recording.
hey man, I gotta go. My labrum just tore itself, so I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Hey, Liberty returns a handful of players. They got some transfers coming in too. They're going to be fine. You got Rachel Roop coming back. Had 317 last year. She hit 15 home runs, just like Caroline Wang did. Had 50 RBIs. I mean, highest on base percentage on the team, 415. I'd imagine she's gonna be a pretty good producer for Liberty again this year.
Yeah, I'd say so. They also bring back KK Madry. So they're bringing back two of their outfilders. And
I'm
Rachel
really
Root and
glad.
KK Madry. What?
I'm really glad you took her name because I was definitely gonna butcher her last name.
How do you butcher that? It's Madruy.
My brain was not.
Madre?
Let's try Spanish here for a second. Anyway,
Anyways, KK Madry, another outfielder that's coming back. She had the highest batting average on the team with a 329. Only had a 383 on base percentage, but what I liked about her was that she was a small ball and slapper for them. Which obviously when you have a person who can small ball and slap, that means they come with speed, and that she did. She stole 26 bases on 27 attempts, so almost perfect on the season. So I mean, between KK Madry, I really hope that's how you say her name. If not, Oh well.
It's gotta be because the way that I was gonna say it was not it.
I
Without
want to know,
yeah,
how are you going to say it?
I told you. Think Spanish.
I'm not really.
I was gonna say madre.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I was like, surely not. That could be it though.
I mean, I it could, I guess, but
I think it should be a requirement to put the name pronunciations on the webpage. I'm just saying. I don't care how easy the name looks.
there were a few schools that had like you could click the
The little
little
ear.
yeah, and it would say the name. Some of the girls, it was like the easiest name ever.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark. I wonder how you pronounce that.
Yeah. No, I could use it for this one for sure.
Yeah. I got Paige Bachman coming back. Their second pitcher in the rotation last year. Not near as good as Carly Keeney. Um, coming in with a 3.02 ERA. Threw a good chunk of innings last year, 10-9 record. I imagine she's going to throw a bunch more innings this year with Keeney gone. I don't think she's going to throw 260 something innings, so
No, and I think
I
last year I have it in my notes. It says only had three pitchers. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. That's what I think that's what I saw, which would explain why Carly Keeney threw 8,000 innings. But
yeah.
hopefully it's a little more evenly split this coming season because they do bring in a couple of pitchers.
Yeah, I mean it seems like the Liberty coaching staff was like, we're losing Keeney next year, so we're gonna have to figure something out. And they knew Bachman was gonna come back, and they bring in another transfer pitcher from North Al and Elena Escobar, who threw a good chunk of innings last year, about the same as Paige Bachman. And they also bring in Tyler Oubre. Is that how we say that name?
That's how I would say it.
All right. They also bring in Tyler Oubre. Um, another transfer pitcher. You know where she's from? It's
Blue,
okay.
no,
That's all right.
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Raging
Yeah.
Cajuns.
Rajon Cajuns.
I mean, that would make sense with the last name like Oubre. Yeah. It feels
Yeah.
French.
Does it?
Yeah. To me.
I guess maybe just a little bit. Oubre. I don't know.
It feels French.
Could be.
Liberty's just Frenching it up over here. So probably looking at more of a Johnny Holstaff type pitching situation for Liberty this year. I also bring in transfer Brooke Roberts, a utility from Central Florida, who was the 2023 Mid Florida Conference Player of the Year and a 2023 JUCO All American, second team All American. Hit 23 homers last year with 87 RBIs. That's nuts.
22 home runs is crazy.
So I kind of misspoke. I said she comes from Central Florida, not UCF. She came from the College of Central Florida, which is a JUCO. But I mean, you talk about some Taryn Kern numbers right there.
Isn't that the same amount and everything? 23 home runs?
I think 23 home runs is the same
Sounds right.
as Taryn Kern, but Taryn Kern had like I thought she had like 100 RBIs.
Probably.
I mean, either way, like 87 RBIs is that's through the roof when you're talking about a college softball season. if you're talking about a 162 game Major League Baseball season, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Let alone a college softball season. That's
That's
60 games,
yeah.
a third of that.
23 home
That's
runs.
wild.
Well, that should definitely help offensively for Liberty.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Liberty bringing in two freshman pitchers as well. So yeah, we're looking at Johnny Holstaff for sure. Um,
Dak and
looking at somebody to take command of the circle and say, "This is my circle," to be that number one, and then it's just Johnny Holstaff from there, baby. You not working? We're going to the pen. Let's go. We got 18 pitchers.
they're probably feeling super happy that they have a lot of pitchers to choose from because if they only had 3 last year, boy.
I know if I'm Paige Bachman at the end of the year, I'm walking in the coach's office and I'm like, "Hey, I can't do what Carly did. You're gonna have to find somebody else to help me out."
We need more pitchers ASAP.
Yeah, my arm is gonna fall off if I throw
Yeah.
more than 150 innings. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Liberty's probably they're gonna still be competitive. One of their freshmen is Kalen Yoder, 2023 Delaware Gatorade Player of the Year. So I'd imagine she's probably gonna be pretty solid for him
Yeah. Paige Bachman's going to be real thankful.
for sure. Uh, then so we go MTSU, who won the conference tournament last year. We go Liberty, who won the A-Sun last year and had a pretty good performance in their regional, um, giving UCLA their first loss of that regional. So between MTSU and Liberty, safe to say that we probably have some winner picks there.
Very safe to say. Not going to say
uh,
100%, but I'd probably go with the old 99%.
yeah. We move into the third pick. Given how Conference USA finished last year during the regular season, um, it was record wise, overall record wise. I mean, overall record and conference record. It was pretty close between the next two teams, and we kind of feel like Louisiana Tech has the upper hand to finish in the top three this year for Conference USA. Uh, finished seventh last year, right behind MTSU with a 13-11 conference record, 32-24 on the year. Um, team ERA not bad, definitely comparable to Liberty and MTSU. It's their offense that's where the
Hurdle.
struggle bus is. Yeah. Um, similar to MTSU, not getting a lot of power out of La Tech, 29 home runs. They kind of make up for that with stolen bases, so they're pretty pretty quick team, you would say. Um, only have one real key loss in Sierra Sacco, one of their outfielders who transferred to Mississippi State. Uh, not where I would transfer, but it's neither here nor there. Um, what else you got? Just boring you to death.
No. Um, Kylie Neal Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Kylie Neal's a returner for him. Um, she, I was, I was deciding on something. Okay.
Yeah, I see.
Anyway,
I see what you were deciding on.
uh, she she led the team with a 351 batting average, which was well above their team batting average. And posted a 463 on base percentage, also well above the team on base percentage. Um, Definitely more of a consistency hitter than a power hitter, as obviously with 29 home runs, you're not going to have that many power hitters on a team. She only had 5 herself, but I would look for her to be consistent again this season. I don't see, unless she just went and jacked up in the off season to where she's going to be dropping nukes. I don't see why she wouldn't just stick to base hits, doing what
Yeah.
she does best, collecting hits for a team. So who else? Who else do we have?
I'm gonna skip over the next one,
Okay.
just because I personally like the Conference USA Freshman of the Year last year, Allie Floyd, who returns to La Tech. One of their workhorses in the circle last year through 128 innings. Had a 2.57 ERA at 8 and 10 in the circle. Um, Not the numbers you'd really like to see, but I mean, given her team really struggled to score runs last year, I mean, she gave her team a chance every single time she stepped in the circle. Obviously, she's very talented. The rest of the conference recognized her as freshman of the year. So I would expect to see her take over this pitching staff and lead from the front, be that number one. Um, that La Tech brings in a couple transfers. Aubrey Shawnee from Oregon State. Nicole Hamoud. Is that how you say that?
I have no idea.
I couldn't see. I don't know. Claire Rayleigh, who transfers from Utah State. And then one more transfer, Alexis Gilio from BYU. As far as the transfers go, Claire Rayleigh and Alexis Gilio are the only two who really saw a significant amount of playing time at their previous schools. Um, I would expect Claire Rayleigh to get some significant playing time because she did pretty well in the 41 games that she played last year. That's the majority of her team's games. Uh, Alexis Gilio had 45 appearances and 34 starts, and she batted 284 with a 320 on base percentage. Outfielder, sure she'll get in the lineup every once in a while. I don't expect her to be an everyday starter for La Tech. But her batting average is better than the team batting average, so who knows?
I just I want to know what's in the water with La Tech's players' names. Like these are difficult names to pronounce.
Some of them are. Allie Floyd is by far the easiest name to pronounce from La
Not
Tech.
not Brooke Melanu Melanuchek? New Newchuck?
Melnichuk? I think it's Brooke Melnichuk. I think that's how you say that.
Couldn't
Um,
tell you.
yeah, I mean, I could see La Tech coming in the 3 spot. That's why we put them up here, but I don't think they're really gonna do a whole heck of a lot. But uh, with MTSU and Liberty,
Yeah, it also could be a toss up between La Tech and Western Kentucky.
yeah. Some other notable players from the conference got you got quite a few, or I don't want to say quite a few, but yeah, 3 of the 4 um, from newcomers to the conference. You got Lindsey Richardson from Jacksonville State, Jalea Holmes from Jacksonville State, and Riley Carley from New Mexico State. Jacksonville State comes to Conference USA from the ASUN. Lindsey Richardson Batted 389 last year, 61 hits, 9 home runs, 473 on base percentage, 49 RBIs. A 982 fielding percentage is pretty good. There were 223 chances at first base. So ASUN first team last year. And expect big things from Jacksonville State's Lindsey Richardson again. Jalea Holmes, ASUN's freshman of the year pitcher. 16-7 on the year. That's pretty good
Yeah,
for. I mean, that's pretty good for anybody, but for a freshman, it's pretty good. It's no Najee Kennedy, but
it's up there.
pretty pretty solid numbers right there.
Mm-hmm.
Riley Carley from New Mexico State was second team WAC last year.
Time out.
Well,
Why did you say it like that?
she was a second team WAC player.
It's no. It's just the way that you like whack second team, which is really hard on the WAC in that phrase. Made me laugh. It was funny.
All right, second team Western Athletic Conference player Riley Carley from New Mexico State last year. Batted 346 with a 411 on base percentage. Hit 16 yaks last year.
Yaks for the whack.
Yep. Yaks for Conference USA now. Look for Riley Carley to continue to drop bombs again this year. And then Ashton Lansdale from Florida International. Ashley, I will let you talk all about Ms. Lansdale.
And that I will. So she's coming into Florida International as a transfer. The reason that she's on the watch list is because this is her first season playing college softball, which is very unique, I would say. She actually played her 2 years prior. I think it was 2 years. I would assume 2 years at the JUCO level, but she played baseball. So she's transferring from Georgia Highlands after playing 2 years of baseball. And obviously, she didn't just play 2 years of baseball. She's been playing baseball for her life. Brings in a 295 batting average. Pretty decent for baseball, I would say.
Yeah.
378 on base percentage. And she led her team last year. Again, Georgia Highlands, JUCO team out of, I would assume, Georgia. Led the team in runs scored with 36, with 44 hits, 6 home runs, and 19 walks. And she's got some freaking wheels on her feet because she stole 26 bases, 26 90 feet apart bases. I'm out.
Yeah.
Ain't no
So the 6 home runs from a girl playing baseball, that's insane to me. But also 26 stolen bases. That
There's no way.
you don't see that.
There's no way.
You do
Not
not
unless
see
your
that.
name's Ronald Acuna Jr.
Well, he stole a lot more than
Double.
26 bases, but
Actually,
yeah.
it was like 70 something, wasn't it? I don't know.
I don't know. I have to go back and look, but
A lot.
yeah, super impressive. Definitely keep an eye out for Ashton Lansdale. Do some damage for FIU. But it will be an adjustment. Baseball, softball, not the same.
One's downhill, one's uphill. Who knows how it'll go?
Yeah, definitely not the same, but one to keep an eye out for sure. All right, so as far as the remainder of the conference goes, we're going to get into a sleeper pick. And for Conference USA, man, it's really not that much of a sleeper pick because the next, let's see, we've already mentioned Western Kentucky. Our top 3 were MTSU, Liberty, La Tech. We said Western Kentucky could have kind of flip-flopped with La Tech. And then beyond that, I mean, you're talking really just one more team that we both think has a shot. So
Okay, I guess I'll say who it is. That
3, 2, 1.
one. Okay, try it again one more time.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. All right, Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
The only other option would be FIU, but I
Well, I
Jacksonville State,
mean,
I think Jacksonville State has a better opportunity here.
FIU was more in line with New Mexico State.
Yeah.
Neither team had a great season last year. Um, but it's between La Tech, Jacksonville State, and Western Kentucky, all three of them virtually the same team with different uniforms.
Yeah.
So
Jacksonville State though, why I like them almost almost better than La Tech, maybe. I don't know, haven't decided. But why I like them is because they have the Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year coming in for them. And Amber Reed, who's a pitcher, and last year Jacksonville State's ERA team, oh my god, my contact is messing up so bad. Their team ERA was a 3.44. La Tech's team ERA last year was a 2.38. That's why I said almost, because I feel like pitching wise, La Tech's got the upper hand, but I am interested to see
right.
what this Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year can do for Jacksonville State. Now, I mean, other
Right.
than
And
that,
I mean, but when you're talking about the incoming freshman, what'd you say her name was? Reed?
Amber Reed,
Amber Reed. So you got Amber Reed coming in, Georgia's player of the year last year. And you also have Jalea Holmes, who was the A-Sun freshman of the year. So you have a 1-2 duo in the circle. I mean, you would expect that team ERA to
drop.
go on way on down.
Yeah. Now, I don't know who else they had in the I didn't write it down or anything. I don't know who else they had in the circle last year,
Yeah.
but I mean, I can't imagine that bringing somebody on who had great career numbers um previously. I mean, I can't imagine that she won't impact that ERA and then in turn help give their team a better chance to win too.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you
I,
compare offense, if you compare Jacksonville State's offense to La Tech, I mean, Jacksonville State has a better batting average. They have the better on base percentage, I think. Yeah, barely. It's about the same. But they have more power. I mean, they hit 40 home runs. Obviously, nothing to be like, oh my God, that's crazy.
yeah.
But La Tech had what, 30, 20, 29?
29.
And that's a difference of some runs. 11.
At least 11.
Oh, it's so embarrassing every time. It's gotta quit. It's gotta quit. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
That is third grade math. 40 minus 29? Come on. That's terrible. That's
Oh
awful.
man.
The hamster must be sleeping
Great,
up here.
great commentary. Great commentary. Um,
Golly.
no, I would tend to agree with you. I think Jacksonville State has a really good chance to finish in the top three. I think Western Kentucky has a really good chance to finish in the top three as well. Um, but it's just, I mean, I I don't want to say you could flip a coin because there's three teams involved here, not just two. But
You could,
you
there's
get the
nothing that works
idea.
for
Like
me. Yeah.
you can you could spin a kiosk, I guess.
I was gonna say draw a name out of a hat, but sure.
I was just trying to think of a three-sided object. You know, sunglass hut kiosk, baby. Um, But yeah, I mean, between Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State, and La Tech, like there's no real sleeper here. Like they're all the same team. They all three of them have a chance to kind of take the conference over, but realistically, it's gonna be between MTSU and Liberty.
Yeah.
So
So then, if you have to pick, who do you put 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3. I really want to say MTSU, Liberty, Jacksonville State. But I mean, it's just hard to beat Jesus, man. Liberty, MTSU, Jacksonville State. I mean, is what it is. You can't beat Jesus. He already won.
I'm rolling with Liberty, MTSU, Jacksonville State. I would love for the
Uh,
hometown to prove me wrong. Love for the Blue Raiders to go out, win it again, beat Bama, carry on.
yeah, I mean that would be cool, but maybe not the beat Bama part. Um, but yeah, I mean, uh, between Liberty and MTSU, it's their conference to win or lose. And I think Jesus has this one in the bag, so we'll see.
Yeah,
But all right, I think that'll wrap this episode of Yellaball up.
think so.
We'll catch you next time.